What is going on, everybody? I go by Philly Mike, host of the Philly Talk podcast, but we are back for episode 2 of the 2021 NFL season when it comes to Battle Birds pregame podcast. As I'm joined always with my two co-hosts, go ahead and introduce yourself for the people just tuning in to BBP for the first time.
What's good, guys? My name is Steven Hyder, Gate City Sports Channel where the cerebral NFL fan comes for about 10 minutes of daily content. I'm going to let my guy down below introduce himself.
Yo, that, man. What's going on, man? You know what it is. You know what it is. Your boy, Fully Fresh, a.k.a. The General. Listen, man, episode 2. Got a big game coming up. We're going to let Mike take us where we need to be. Y'all know how he get down. So sit back, relax. We going to give y'all all the intel that y'all need and probably more. Let's get it, Mike.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So this is a big week 2 matchup. It's got a little personal. Now, I know some people don't take, the statue for what it is, but at the end of the day, you know what I mean? The intention of what Niner fans were trying to do is trying to come in Philly and act like they're going to take over. This is the wrong city to do that. But I think
most of them from Philly, though. That's the crazy part. I may cut you off, Mike, but that's the crazy part. Most of them dudes is from Philly.
That's they heard it was a New Jersey Empire or something like that they were talking about. It's weird. Yeah, well, it's called Rent-A-Fan. The Niners fan San Francisco called up all their boys on the East Coast and asked them to go show out for them and stuff like that. But this is the home opener for the Eagles, and again, we're coming in with the public saying that we are still not a good team, and the Niners were supposed to win 10 plus games. Gate, let me ask you, where is this game going to be won? What is the biggest matchup you're looking at just to start it out for pregame?
Linebackers. It's going to be one. It's going to be won or lost, in my opinion, at the second level of the defense. Because, simply put, Atlanta got us a couple of times with some pre-snap motion stuff and mostly with some play action stuff. This is going to be play action on steroids. They're going to try to establish wide zone, and they think that we're overselling, we're overplaying wide zone. They're going to boot and they're going to roll Jimmy Garoppolo, and they're going to try to get those matchups with Juszczyk and, with their players, and that's the thing is that there's going to be a lot of disguise to what they do offensively. And we got to do a better job than we did the first couple of drives, because I got a feeling if we play the first 2 series like we played in Atlanta, they're going to put 6 up. They're not going to put field goals up. They're going to put it in the end zone on us. So we got to definitely tighten some things up from the linebacker play. Eric Wilson got sat down late last game because he couldn't tackle. And that was, you guys know, I made the video when everybody was pumped about Eric Wilson. I said, I love this guy a lot. He's such a good coverage linebacker. It's going to be exciting to see that A-gap and B-gap pressure. Dude can't tackle. I told everybody, dude can't tackle, man. Dude he cannot tackle. But we'll see. I mean, look, we got a good coaching staff. We're really young at the linebacker position, not only the players, but also the coaching staff. So, I mean, we'll see what happens here, man. I think our linebackers have a lot to prove. And I think this is a big game for them proving a lot to us.
Fresh, what is your biggest matchup or thing you want to look at for the Eagles to get a dub? Just to start it off.
First, shout out to myself. I made a video Friday. I do all my do's and don'ts. It's Jordan Mailata and Nick Bosa to me. That's the biggest matchup, man. If Mailata could win that matchup one-on-one, doesn't need any help, we're going to be able to control the rest of that line of scrimmage. You know what I mean? Easily, handily. What's going on, y'all? Yes, I am out. Thank you. I appreciate Solo Bolo. Appreciate you. That Jordan Mailata, man, is he's a specimen that you rarely ever see. And he's getting more and more experienced. The size, the speed. I looked at some old pictures of him when he played rugby, when he first started. I ain't gonna say first started, but dude was kind of skinny. He was 275 ain't really skinny, but you get what I'm saying. He wasn't 3+, you can tell, but he was, so he already had the athletic ability. And I always thought that they would when they drafted him, they would make him defensive end. I thought that. But I think that they made the right decision on making this guy left tackle. Obviously, he just got paid. Somebody else just got paid. We're going to talk about that later. And the guy is just a freak. Like I put in one of my videos earlier this week. He's trying to find somebody to block. It's a guy coming towards Salamalo. He just pushes him, and he just gives him a nudge, and the dude falls on his butt. It's like, wow, like what? Like you just, if he wins that battle, man, I'm not gonna lie to you. I think that we control the line of scrimmage. We get up on these guys early. You make Jimmy Garoppolo have to throw the ball. You make them have to throw the ball, and they can't run the ball if you get up early, like we did up on Atlanta. You get up early, and then look what happened. Look what happened when we get up early. Same thing that happened in 2017. All those games. We got up early, and now Fletcher Cox, Hargrave, Josh Sweat, Derek Barnett, Brandon Graham, Hassan Ridgeway can go eat. They can go hunting. And that's where we are the most dangerous. So if Jordan Mailata can protect the blind side by himself, no doubling, I understand you're definitely going to chip Nick Bosa with these tight ends. Zach Ertz is playing, so you're going to see some 13 personnel, some 22 personnel, 21 personnel. You're going to see those. You're going to see those personnels. But at the same time, if you don't have to because this dude is handling them, it's so much other things that you can do. Go ahead, Joe.
So, Mike, real quick, just to kind of get you guys, I want to talk about one player that I couldn't, like I said, guys, I know Mike knows what I'm talking about, bro. They still ain't released all 22 on Game Pass. So
that's true.
I know that Kaplan, a lot of people have been calling him out for it. But, man, I went back and I was watching TV copies, and I got like 3 or 4 different angles to watch from the TV copies. Man, I got to be honest with you. Javon Hargrave, the way that he was playing in the trenches, the way he was folding the center, I mean, he was folding him like a piece of bread, man. It was crazy. Like, Javon Hargrave might be so much better than what we thought. And if that's the case,
he's healthy.
Line is going to be ridiculous.
He healthy. He healthy, Steve. He was not, and that's crazy. I can't remember who said it. Was it one of y'all that said it last week? Or I know I heard it was you.
About what Fletcher said, yeah.
Yeah, what Fletcher Cox said, and he's right. They asked him, and he said there's nothing different. He's just healthy. And you can see why they paid him $10 million, man. You can see why they paid him $10 million a year. There's only game one, but I see the difference from last year like that. Like, and some of it might be scheme, him moving over. That definitely can help a lot. But you can just tell from his energy, the dude is just different. And I wanted to grind Fletcher Cox up, but I looked at tape. They was doubling him every single freaking play. Atlanta shows so much respect to Fletcher Cox. Every play he was getting doubled.
Matt Ryan missed a touchdown pass. This was the craziest design I ever saw in my life from a coordinator. They pulled both guards into some kind of a swing protection, right? And left a running back one-on-one with Fletcher Cox. Bro, Matt Ryan almost pissed himself. Like, why? Yo, he missed a touchdown. They definitely had a receiver that broke free over the depth of the actual.
You talking about the one when they had pressure and he just threw it? Yeah, it
was there. That was a touchdown. If he, but he saw Fletcher and he was like, "Nah, bro, I'm not dying out here today."
He picked the wrong person. Exactly. Yeah, just to bring it back all the way around. Yeah, I think there's a lot of matchups that you really got to watch out for, especially just knowing that Kittle last time he played the Eagles, he had 15 targets for 15 targets, 15 receptions, $183 and a touchdown. And I just want to see the Eagles shut down that run game for the San Francisco 49ers. It doesn't matter who's back there for the Niners in the sense of name. They've put anybody back there and were able to run their scheme well. The way they block, the way they do the outside zone running scheme, the pre-snap motion that Kyle Shanahan does, I got to give him credit. He is one of the best at doing it, and you don't know where the run's going to come from. You're going to see Deebo Samuel probably get some carries, George Kittle, Brandon Ayuk if he's healthy, and whatever running back is back there. So you definitely got to watch out for that. But on our side, before I get to it, shout out to Richard Kane with the $5 super chat. What up, Philly Mike and the crew? Let's go, Birds. This is upset week. Yes, and I'm trying to tell you, you know how I said this yesterday on L with LB. You know, they want to talk about the 12th man in Seattle. We're going to have about 15 extra. We're going to have the 15th man, the way the Link's going to be rocking first time back since you know what's been going around. But I think the RPO is going to be very useful in this matchup, especially if we come out running the ball pretty good. Listen, I like the game plan last week, but I think we still went a little bit too pass heavy until we got the game won. And then Nick Sirianni said, we're not going to make the mistake by passing ourselves out of this game. Let's run the ball and secure the W. I want to run the ball early because how do you stop a front four? The screens, the RPO, the run game. If you're making Nick Bosa, D Ford, and Warner think about it for that half a second, it's going to give the offensive line, Jordan Mailata, a little bit more time. And we got the tools to use.
This is the game I would turn Jalen Hurts loose. I would turn Jalen Hurts loose in this game because San Francisco plays a very modest cover three. It's a modest cover three to where they won't give up the back end. But they, like Reese is trying to say, while they may not be aggressive in blitzing, that defensive line gets home for them. So make them tired chasing around Jalen Hurts. And it won't be long before they got to start doing something.
Exactly. And if they're going to play back to take the deep ball away, you got the RPO. So these guys are going to have to think, is Jalen keeping it? Is Miles taking it? Jalen going one way, Miles going the other way. Which one am I going to commit to? If he does keep it and he doesn't run, you might have the middle of the field open for guys like Goddard, Smith, and Rager. So I think, again, take what the defense gives you. I like how Shane Steichen said, hey, we had some deep balls called up, but why am I going to just disregard what I'm seeing from the defense and just do it to do it? You know what I mean? This ain't Nike. Yeah. We don't just do it for no reason. He saw what was there and he took what was available, and you turn a 52% completion percentage last year to 77. So there's no complaining here for me. Take what the defense gives you, but the run game has to be a big staple of this out of the RPO, because it's going to keep that deadly front four from keying up and just, putting her head down and getting at the quarterback.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I think the two tight ends, whoever they should be, obviously it should be Goddard and Zach Ertz. That's going to play a major role in this. The middle of the field should be open. Now I do understand that they're missing one is it one or two corners? Is one corner? They got like a practice squad guy.
They're missing both their starting corners.
Okay, it is both. They got like a practice squad guy out there. Understand that. But dudes in the NFL, so we gotta put some respect on. I ain't gonna say his name, but I don't know his damn name. But I
know him, Deontay Johnson. He's an NC State guy.
Okay.
I will say this about Deontay Johnson: he can't run. The problem with Deontay Johnson, he's big physical corner. He's good.
Russell Douglas type.
Yeah, he's a good red zone guy, but he's got hands. That's the thing about Deontay Johnson. We got to be careful of Deontay Johnson. If you make a mistake, he'll take the ball away from you. Dude, right. I think the dude led the NCAA one year in interceptions. Okay. But to be honest with you, man, he's not keeping up with Rager and Smith and speed we can throw out there. He's definitely not keeping up with Quez. If Quez hits that second gear, it's over.
But here's the thing with Quez. Yeah. Are you going to use him more than just in the first quarter? Yeah. Like, I kind of had a problem with that. Especially if it worked. Now, I understand you don't want to keep showing your hand and keep doing this and keep doing that, but make them have to stop it. Now, I'm not saying you just keep throwing it, but to me, you got to throw that mix in there with Quez. Quez is a freak of nature when it comes to his speed. And you got to utilize that because you have, you know what I mean? Rhaegar is going to, because he's playing in the slot, or I ain't gonna lie. When you look at the tape, they moved everybody everywhere, and that's scary. They had Devontae Smith in the slot. They had Rhaegar in the slot. They had J.J. Whiteside blocking. Yo, I ain't gonna lie to you, man. That's another thing I don't want to say. If you're going to use J.J. Whiteside, you have to target him. The league is going to catch up to J.J. Whiteside coming out there, and it's either a run play or a screenplay, and you're not targeting them. The defensive coordinators are smart. They're going to realize that you're showing your hand when J.J. Whiteside comes on the field if you're not going to target him. So
that's where you got to flip the script. Yeah, you definitely got to get that.
Right.
But Nick Sirianni did say this real quick. He said that JJ coming out there and being patient and being used to block will result to some receptions. It's going to translate. It got to. That's one thing Kyle Shanahan does that I respect, right? This is what he'll do. He'll come out in a formation, right? And run the ball, right? Then a couple plays later, he'll show you that same formation and run the ball again. And then he'll come out in that same formation and it's a wildly scripted pass play. That is the one thing that Kyle Shanahan does. He can show the same formation 3 or 4 times and call 3 or 4 different plays out of it, and that keeps the defense on their heels. And I got to give Shanahan all his respect. I do think the Eagles are going to win this game. I think he's just going to be too much at the link. But I have never been a guy saying the Niners are not that good. I respect Vegas saying they're going to win 10+. I think that, as we said, why we were not that good last year, mainly because of the injuries, where whenever we were saying the injuries, that got to go the same way to San Fran. But I just think that I think 2 takeaways are coming from Jimmy G. And I think we could be the team to get Jimmy G on the hot seat for Trey Lance. Let's do it.
I don't want him in the game against us, though.
No. I mean, I want them to consider putting him in after us.
I don't think Jimmy. Even if he has an okay game this week, I don't got him lasting the whole year for some reason. It's something telling me that he's not going to last the whole year. I don't know. I'm not saying injuries or nothing like that. I'm just saying I think that he's going to find himself on the bench. He's going to find himself riding the pond, man. It's crazy. I think Trey Lance had like four to six plays against Detroit, and everything was positive that he did. Now, the more sample sizes you get, of course, you're going to have negative plays, but everything was positive that he did, and he looked better than Jimmy Garoppolo. It's not even close to me. But I do get what they're trying to do. They're trying to make sure that he's ready. And I think that around week 8, week 9, they're going to say, all right, I think this guy is ready. And Jimmy G going to be sitting behind on the pond, man. Go ahead, y'all.
Real quick before we get into some more, shout out to Damien with the $2 super chat. He said, BBP, my fave Eagles trio. For God's sakes, no injuries today. Yes, knock on fake wood. That is something. Listen, that's been like an off-season talking point forever, and so far so good out of the week 1. This is going to be a big game. We definitely can't lose nobody. Like I said, if we can bring 92% of the roster throughout the season with a little bit of banged up, some 1 or 2 games out, I think this team has been slept on for the 2 biggest what ifs. You know what I mean? Nobody in the NFL who knows football can look at the defensive line, the offensive line, and say they're not good unless they're trying to project injuries. You can't look at the secondary and say we haven't had this ain't the best secondary the Eagles had in a long time. Not saying too much, but it's there. And then the biggest thing is, critics are going to say, well, what is Nick Sirianni going to do? What is Jalen Hurts going to do in the long term? And so far, so good. Every what if that I had in the offseason has been answered in week 1. I'm not saying it's going to be consistently answered, but I'm feeling as good as I ever felt. And as long as no injuries stop us, this team can be what Tony Romo said, 10+ wins. You know what I mean? Let's see if we can continue. It starts today.
I just want to read the inactives real fast. Mac McClain, cornerback. Rodney McLeod still not playing. Gardner Minshew, of course. Brett Toth, and I do not know this dude. I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. I don't even want to try to mess his name up. Marion Tulupalu.
Oh, the DT.
Yeah,
Marlon Tuipulotu.
I don't know how to say his name. I never heard anybody say it, so I don't know how to say it. So how you say it? Tuipulotu. Yeah, I was close. That's close enough. No,
he was the dude he was the guy I was really high on, and then he had like a really bad camp.
Yeah. Oh, did he? Okay, that's why I ain't heard nothing about him this year.
Yeah.
I want to flip the script real fast, and I want to ask y'all this, right? 2018 draft. Everybody is a starter. We only have 5 picks, remember? Everybody is a starter except for Matt Pryor, who also has been a starter. So we grind Howie up about 2017, which is definitely awardable. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
But 18 only had 5 picks, and it seemed like he hit on every last one of them. When you look at it, Dallas Goedert, he's going to get paid. Starter. When you got Avonte Maddox, starter. Josh Sweat, starter, just got paid. Jordan Mailata, starter, just got paid. Those 4 guys right there are starters. And then you had Matt Pryor, and he got traded. I forgot what we got for Matt Pryor, but he just got traded. But he also, huh?
It's a 6th-round pick, but we gave a 6 for Minshew, so I just said we got Minshew for him. You know what I mean?
Okay. But still, he still started and contributed. So I think we got to give Howie his flowers on about 2018 draft. I don't know how y'all feel about that, but as much as I grind, y'all know how I get down. I grind Howie up about a lot of things that he does, but I think he hit in 2018. What y'all think?
Yeah, I mean, look, it's Howie's been a roller coaster with the draft. It's been up and down, and I think the biggest argument has been how much of it is a lack of talent evaluation, and how much of it is a lack of coaches developing players. And I think that's the larger argument that's at heart here. And clearly the owner banked on that the coaches weren't probably developing the players. I do think that we approached this year's draft differently, though. Of course, Howie had final say. I mean, I'm not saying that he didn't have final say, but I could definitely tell that the coaches in the scouting department, they were, look, we had the big blow up in the 3rd round, of course, but that wasn't necessarily, see, that's the thing people miss. It wasn't because they didn't like Milton Williams or anything like that. They liked another player that they felt would be there. And then there was a dispute about if you moved back, if he would still be there. And when we moved back, he wasn't there because somebody leapfrogged you and took him. But the way I look at it, man, is simply put, like, there was definitely more cohesion between scouting department, general front office, the coaching staff. Like, to me, it looks like there's like an actual plan in place, and we're seeing guys, start to emerge. I mean, look, if JJ puts up 30, 35 catches this year, has 400 yards, and turns into some kind of a actual like rotational player that, is anything. I'm not justifying the 2nd-round pick. But that tells you right then and there that we had a serious problem with coaching. I mean, that's the way I look at it, is if you can get any kind of production out of JJ, I think it's a telltale marker, right? But there's definitely misses, man, like Andre Dillard. Andre Dillard was come on, man. We didn't do our complete homework there on Andre Dillard. We didn't expect that he would be available, so we didn't fully vet the young man. And now we're, you know what I mean? Like,
just saying that as a parent.
As good as the 18 pick was, the 19 pick was really bad. With that said, I mean, you're not going to hit on every pick. It's just the way it is. You shouldn't miss on 1st and 2nd rounders as often as we're missing, but you're not going to hit on every pick. It's just, it's the way it is.
Yeah. When I look at the Howie Roseman thing, and I've been vocal about his screw ups a lot, but again, when you look around, I think part of the problem was trying to keep a couple guys a little bit too late. And when you do try to do that is Alshon Jeffrey going to stay pretty good? Is Jason Peters, he does get attached a little bit, we got to talk about that. But, he, in the grand scheme of thing, I think he's done for a roster spot, preparing the roster a little bit more better than he done worse. Look how we were backed in the corner this year talking about rebuild. And he retooled us pretty good, and so far we're 1-0. Just the guys he's able to get on the 1-year prove-it deal, changing the cap. We all know that. I just think sometimes, again, missing as many times as we do in the 1st and 2nd round is the problem. So I wouldn't be opposed to getting some more football mind in here, trying to change the script when it comes to the drafting. But the general managing of the Eagles has been done pretty darn good. And no matter how you felt about him, I'm going to give a guy of his flowers when he deserves it. This offseason was an A+. You talk about what we did in the draft, getting another 1st-round pick, getting Carson off the team for something respectable after, there was a built-up Ben Simmons kind of cloud waving over him and stuff like that. Just everything he's been able to do, get respectable guys on 1-year deals, keep this team afloat, sign the young guys while fixing the cap. Man, I just think
it's crazy. But I get what Reese is saying, because I just looked over stuff. As bad as the 19 pick looks right now, and there's still time to change the perception. look at what we didn't miss on any single player in 18 at all. Goddard was a hit. Maddox is a hit. Sweat's a definite hit. Even prior, as a 6th rounder, he played, he served his purpose and still got his back, I think, a 6th round pick. And then Jordan Mailata was a hit. They hit on every pick. So, I mean,
it's hard to do that in the NFL. That's all I was saying. I said that in my live yesterday. It's hard to hit on, even though he only had 5. It is very, very hard to hit on every last one of your picks in the draft. And he did that. And I don't know. I don't follow every team, obviously, but I don't know any guy that did that. You know what I mean? And maybe it was I don't believe in luck. Maybe it was a so-called luck of the draw or whatever you want to call it. But it's just amazing to me when you sit back and you look at it. And somebody brought it up, like, yo, like, all these guys are starters. Then I just started thinking about it, like, damn, like, you absolutely right. Like, these are things that, you know, we don't give the flowers to Howie for. And me being the first guy that'd jump on his head about something, I thought I had to do that. You know what I mean? I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. But he put this roster together. I would have liked. I still think and still feel like this. I would have liked a veteran wide receiver still, but everything else you really can't argue with. You can't argue with the Hargraves, even the Nelsons. We're gonna see how good he is, but to put it to pair him with Slay, you still got a guy in Rodney McLeod. And I want to ask y'all this just to switch it up real fast. Gates, Mike, I don't care who answers. Landon Dickerson, what do you do with him? And what do you do with him right now? He's on an active roster. They saying he's 100% healthy. What do you do with him? Do you use him in running situations? When you need that 6th lineman or whatever the case may be, is he's the first guy off the bench. Like, what would you do with Landon Dickerson?
To me, it depends upon his health, to be honest with you.
They said he 100%.
I really don't trust an ACL this soon coming back. Okay. And it's not that I think that the ACL isn't fully healed, but like it still takes like time to get physically in shape for an NFL game coming back from something like that. Right. Do I think he's going to be first off the bench? I think it's a high probability. You look at this guy's film. When he's healthy, he's one of the 5 best starting linemen right now that we have. I mean, there's just no doubt about it. Mm-hmm. Do I think they're going to remove
Only job he can take is Malu, though. That's the only job he can take.
Yeah. Do I think they're going to remove Malu? Probably not. Not unless Malu gives them reason. You know, he's got to give them reason. He's got to give them purpose to be benched, basically. But I mean, the kid's going to be the future. The young man's the future. It's only a matter of time before he's at center or guard. This young man can play, man. He's got experience playing tackle, but he's a little shorter armed. I mean, I'm pretty sure Jalen can kind of go into depth there. When you got like 32-inch arms, look, it doesn't mean that you can't make it a tackle, but it's
just harder.
Hard to gain, it's hard to gain leverage that way. But he's strong. He's a really strong guy. Physically gifted, man. I mean, I look at a guy like Nate Herbig, and Nate Herbig is such a good story. It's, at some point, man, I love the stories, and I love the fact that these undrafted rookie free agents like TJ Edwards and Nate Herbig kind of show up and they do things, and, reminds me of Quentin Michael and some of those guys that we've had in the past that have been able to do it. But there's just a difference in Landon Dickerson's actual talent level. Like, if he's healthy, and I think he's in game shape, he's clearly the first off the bench for me.
Yeah, real quick, shout out to Richard Kane with the $2 super chat. He said, I can't wait to watch Mailata versus Bosa. Sit down, boy. And that was Fresh's whole video. He had the whole verses going up, the fire, all that talk. I agree. That's going to be, hey, you want to earn your $64 million. You put down Bosa, one of the best defensive ends in the game, and you definitely remember how they said it. You might be able to get up to this part. He's going to be working his way up to the higher part of that contract if he does it day one, because he's only going to get better Raw Rap Radio with a $2 super chat. It said, we are going to control the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball today, and that's going to lead to a W. And that's the way to win. That's why my whole offseason was, listen, you can say what ifs about a lot of things and you got to see more, but there's no way a team that can control the line of scrimmage on both teams is going to be a sorry 4-win team. You know why we were a 4-win team last year? Because we didn't control the line of scrimmage on the offensive side of the ball. The defensive side of the ball was banged up on the D line. We still got third and sack somehow. And then we had all the people who were like fighting against the Eagles. You know what I mean? Whether it was coaching, quarterback play, it is what it is. But yeah, to my thing about Isaac Seumalo, I think he gets a bad rap just because how dominant the line has been throughout his tenure as the Eagle. You look to his left, you got a Hall of Fame Jason Peters. I'm not talking about last year crippled Peters. I'm talking about Seumalo's whole career. Then you look to the right, you got Hall of Fame Jason Kelsey. You look over there, you got Brandon Brooks, who's an all-pro, and same with Lane Johnson. So when you look at the weakest link on the line, it's Seumalo. But you take Seumalo and you put him on the New York Giants, he's the best lineman by far. You know what I mean? I think Seumalo's by a mile. But I agree. My biggest thing is this. I like to preach that if it ain't broke, don't fix it mindset, because also chemistry goes a long way with the line, knowing that you got my back on certain things. I know Seumalo knows when Malata, you see how, you just know each other. You know what I mean? I think that goes a long way. But here's my biggest thing about Landon Dickerson. I believe in the talent on the field, but every year in college, something happened to where he couldn't finish the season. And so if he's going to be one of the big pillars of this new offensive line and new trench that we're going to do, because
let him heal.
But I also want to see, can he do it? I want to know, can he do it as well? I want to see him in a couple games and know that I feel confident in him being healthy, except for some kind of freak accident and stuff like that, because you just paid Malata. You got Landon Dickerson. That's the first two of your pillar of this new offensive line. Now, Seumalo's a free agent in 2020. He's under contract this year and next year. Who knows what happens with him? Because if Seumalo keeps playing at B+, maybe you want to keep him. I don't know how old he is or nothing like that. But we got Lane and Brooks for a couple more years, but we still got to start transition that new style offensive line. And I got to know if Landon Dickerson can be good health-wise for this team.
Crazy, Mike? I'm looking at the breakdown of snaps by position, Seumalo's rookie year in 2017. I'm not kidding you guys. He played center, left guard, left tackle, and right tackle his rookie season in Philly.
Versatile.
Carapool that's very interesting. Can you pull up said one of my friends is a Seahawks fan, and he was talking about it because he was talking about Pryor. He's like, he's good. I'm like, nah, he's okay. He said, yeah, to y'all, basically saying we historically, especially since Jeffrey Lurie took over, have good offensive line. Like when you go down the list of the Runyons and all those kind of guys, like the Jason Peters, Hall of Famer. Come on now. When you look at it, we always have good offensive line, man. And that's one thing that you gotta appreciate, because we seen what happened last year when we don't have an offensive line. We look like the worst team in football. And that's what happens. When you look at a guy like Andrew Luck, man, it's a reason that he's not playing right now, because he never had an offensive line. Like, let's keep it tall like City Hall. He never had an offensive line, and he was one of the best quarterbacks in the league, and probably would be the second or third best quarterback in the league right now. Only people that are probably better than Andrew Luck would be Pat Mahomes and Russell. Other than that, I don't see anybody else that would be better than him. Like, it's a shame, but we gotta take that in consideration and be glad that we have a guy that knows what it's like to be the not like, but knows that you have to win the trenches. It's all about the trenches, and then you let everything else happen. We grind up about not having wide receivers, not having wide receivers. They're here now, right? But at the same time, we always had a defensive line. We always had an offensive line. Last year we had injuries, and it was atrocious. And we seen what it's like to not have that. Now you see, only been one game, but you seen we won the Atlanta game. Jalen Hurts definitely did his thing, but we won the Atlanta game in the trenches. Let's not try to act like we didn't. You know what I mean? And it's a lot of teams that's not built like that. That's why I put up video and I said combined, I think the Philadelphia Eagles have the best offense and defensive line combined in the NFL.
Like, yeah, I agree. You're right.
To me, it's not even a discussion.
Yeah, I tweeted a couple days ago. I said, listen, you can't name 5 teams. And I gave myself a little wiggle room because I know I got some trolls on Twitter that come on in and try to get me. I said, you can't name me 5 teams who have a better offense and defensive line combination. That right there is why we're going to win more games than people think. Oh, by the way, Jalen Hurts is a dog. I had to throw that out there too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he did his thing. He definitely did his thing.
Yeah, definitely. And this is going to be a good
look at a guy like Brett Toth. I ran film on Brett Toth during the offseason, and that guy was not good last year. He was bad last year. Like, my man got bench pressed into Jalen Hurts in the Dallas game. Like, dude picked him up and threw him into Jalen Hurts. And I know Jalen was probably like, what the? Look how far he's come in one offseason under Stoutland. He looked competent to me. He looked completely competent to me. He looks like a completely different player already.
Stoutland might be if not the best, definitely top 5 skill, not skill position, but position coach in the game. Like, I'm not saying best offensive line coach, best wide receiver. I'm saying best position coach in the game. Like, when you look at what he did with Jordan Mailata, man. Like, when you look at all the talent that this dude, you know, and I can't remember how long he was here with Jason Peters. But we do got to remember that Jason Peters was a tight end. Jason Peters was a tight end. He wasn't no tackle. He didn't play on the line. He was a tight end.
Kelsey was a late round pick too.
True.
Yeah.
True. And you see what Kelsey do. I think he's the best at getting out in open space, the best center at getting out in open space.
That second, third level, nobody does it like
second
him.
Level,
nobody do it like
it. No one moves like he does. It's ridiculous. Like, and you know what's crazy is somebody sat down and they were watching film of this, you know, a younger Jason Kelsey I think he was at Cincinnati. And they said, you know what? This dude's like 25 pounds underweight, but this dude's going to be a star. He's an absolute star. And I guarantee you, when you're sitting in that room and you're a scout or you're a coach and you're beating the table for this guy, you know people had to be looking at you like, yo, this dude does not know how to scout. My man is over here suggesting we get a dude that's 25 pounds underweight. This dude's going to get eaten for lunch out there on a football field in the NFL.
Saw how you use him, man.
Yeah.
And that's why we call him the little big dog, because he is little, but he's just ruthless. He's ruthless in the trenches, and that's what gives him.
Not only that, Mike. I didn't mean to cut you off. Not only that, he's one of the smartest centers in the game. Like, his cerebral, shout out to Gate City, but his cerebral is like he knows so much, and he helps a Salomalu. He helps a Brandon Brooks so much by pointing things out before he snaps the ball. Like, he does so much, and also for the quarterback too. You know what I mean? I would like him to stop those high and those low snaps in the shotgun. We ain't gonna talk about that. Yeah. All right. But other than that, man, the dude is a problem. Like, when you look at everything that he does on the field every single week, it's not the sexiest thing and yada yada yada. But when you break it down, he is so important. He is so important to this team. Yeah. That's why
somebody who's scouting for this team, whoever it is, whether it's Roy Estevan, the assistant offensive line coach, pitching in on this, they know how to identify talent. It's ridiculous that, like, Owasika, my favorite camp player this year, I watched that kid's film at Buffalo and I was like, man, wow, this kid's good. Like, he's got a shot, man. It might be a year or two down the road. He's going to have a shot. Like, the kid can play. They know how to identify these weird, you know what I'm saying, like, people that you never heard of. Probably they're they're really fantastic at converting players to positions, at identifying small school guys. I mean, Nate Herbig, bro. I remember I remember the momentum behind Nate Herbig a couple of years ago. I was like, man, that dude ain't making the team. Y'all better stop at Nate Herbig. Pretty good. He's decent. I mean, there's a lot of teams right now that would kill to have Nate Herbig as their sixth lineman.
Yep. And we got him at like number
probably
8.
the starter. Probably the starter. Like all right, Matt Pryor goes to another team and starts because they need him. You know what I mean? And Herbert probably can do the same thing. Definitely Landon Dickerson can. So you got this depth behind you, and it might be the most depth in the NFL when it comes to the offensive line. When you look at the star power that you have in that's starting. like seriously, man. You look at Brandon Brooks. You just go down the line. It seems like it's no holes. It seems like it's no holes in the offensive line. Like it's no link. You want to say Salamalu, but he holds his own.
B+ easily.
He holds his own. So when you have an offensive line that doesn't have no chinks in the armor, what are you going to do? What are you going to do?
Hold that out.
That's one of the reasons why we win double-digit games this year, yo. That's one of the main reasons. If everybody stays healthy on that offensive line, this team is scary because we don't have no chinks.
Yeah. And look, this is the ops coming in real quick and saying that's how you build a team, build in the trench, and someone tell Gettleman that, or Settleman, we should say. And
what's
that's
up,
the thing.
Cruising 26, man. My regards, bro. You guys have had a really rough half decade in the season, man.
They bad. They are bad. They are bad. And they're going to do. And he's not going to put up the numbers of Barry Sanders, but they're going to do Saquon Barkley like they did Barry Sanders. No offensive line. Keep getting tackled for loss. You can't even get, like everybody's saying Saquon is bad. Can't even get ahead of steam. How you expect your running back to do anything and he can't get a freaking head of steam? It's a shame, man. It's a shame. But how y'all do. I appreciate y'all.
Yeah, and it's tough because you built your offense around a very unique player at running back, but then really didn't get the pieces along the line to keep them healthy. It's just like I don't understand their approach at all, man. Their approach makes no sense to me. I know Cruising. I know you and I talked back and forth, and you remember. I think it was you who had asked me about what I thought about your coach, Joe Judge, and I said I don't particularly dislike Joe Judge, but I can tell you if the players don't buy in, that's going to go down in flames.
Right.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like you said, when you look at taking guys in the draft in the trenches, it's not the sexy pick and all that, but it's how you build a teams. That's been passed down from Andy Reid, something that Howie Roseman and Jeff Floyd won't let go, no matter who the head coach is there. And again, look at the playoff teams last year. You're not going to see anybody with a suspect offensive line. Yeah. You might be able to put up some glamorous stats here or there.
Last year, you see how that turned out.
Yeah, but they had a good line, and they all.
But that's what I'm saying. Once he didn't, the guy they call the Holy Grail, the best quarterback they ever seen in life. You see what he looked like without an offensive line. You need an offensive line, just point blank period. And we gotta appreciate that we got one, man. We got one.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we got a really good line play. I mean, it's an embarrassment of riches. And even after we lost 14 players along our line, and we went through, like, I mean, let's be real, we were digging through the bargain bin, bro. I mean, I remember I thought Jamon Brown would have. I was like, yo, what do we got to lose at this point? And then I saw him get on the field and play. I'm like, yo, we got a lot to lose, like starting quarterbacks.
Yo, the dude was fixing his gloves in the middle of blocking.
The dude's
supposed to be blocking.
He sacked our quarterback. He sacked his own player. He sacked Carson Wentz. Now, maybe he's just a bad player, or maybe he's one of the other people who didn't like Carson Wentz, because we heard a lot about that in the locker room.
Yo,
it's crazy.
Listen, that I never seen nothing like it. How do you supposed to be blocking? And then you go over there and you take a picture with Lamar Jackson. I understand y'all both played at Louisville. I don't give a damn about none of that. You just got we ain't get our butts kicked, but he got his behind kicked. You need to take the behind in the locker room, dude.
Facts.
Or go straight or first, was we home? Yeah, we wasn't home. We was at Baltimore, right? You should have called a train, a plane, or whatever, and went straight to the facility and started working out. That's what
you're
you
right.
should.
I drip. When we had Jamon Brown out there, we were playing 12-on-10 football. You're right.
Yeah. It was 12 against 10. Hey, but real quick, shout out to everybody in the chat. We got 203 people watching on 3 channels. Again, we are live on 3 channels. Battleware Podcast is out there. It's on Philly Talk Podcast channel. It's on Gate City Sports channel. And it's on Philly Fresh, the Generals channel. So wherever you're watching it, do us a favor. Hit that like. It's free. It's easy. It don't cost a thing. And make sure, if you haven't checked out the other channels, give them a check out. Everybody on this panel does Eagles content throughout the week. Opinions, facts, breaking news, all that stuff. You got the Cerebral, you got the Fresh, and you just got a guy who just uploads once in a while. And I'm just kidding. But yeah, hit the like button, and we're hitting around 46 minutes. We'll be going for about 15 to 20 more minutes. Let's get into some key matchups. George Kittle. How do the Eagles find a way to stop George Kittle, who tore us up for $183 on 15 targets and a touchdown last year? How do we stop George Kittle? Corner, linebacker, safety, bracket. What are we doing, Gate?
I wouldn't bracket him. I wouldn't expend a corner on him. I wouldn't do any of those things. I think the thing you have to do with Kittle is realize one thing about Kittle. Highly overrated in the red zone. We get on Zach Ertz about not putting touchdowns up. This dude has never sniffed double-digit touchdowns. Give him the underneath. Play a bend, don't break. Know he's probably going to get you for 8 or so catches, but just don't give up anything that's a home run. Keep it in front of you when it comes to him. I think the biggest problem you have with a guy like Kittle, and the biggest problem you're going to have a guy with like Usyk, is making sure they don't slip out the back on you. And then you're like, okay, like now we got Kittle streaking down the field for 40-some yards because we ain't pick him up in assignments. I think that's the bigger issue, is that this team likes to try to confuse. And they'll build, they got a lot of guys that you got to be careful of because they're very unique players that if they weren't in the right scheme, probably would never work out. Brandon Ayuk, very, very talented guy. He's got to be in the right scheme and the right system to work. You look at a guy like Deebo Samuel, incredibly talented guy. Got to be in the right scheme and the right system to work. So, I mean, we just got to be careful with a lot of that pre-snap motion stuff. We got, that they killed us with a reverse last year with Brandon Ayuk. Discipline, man. We got to be disciplined. You got to make sure that we don't do things like leaving cutback lanes wide open like we did in Atlanta. Avery couldn't keep his feet, which that was super frustrating because it was the first game. I understand that you got to knock off some rust and stuff, but like Avery losing his footing and giving up the entire, the backside of the play, that's not okay, man. You can't have that happen because the one big run, it was like the second play of the game. That should have been stopped for like a 1-yard gain. Like we had it. All it was is Avery had to contain. It was there. Avery lost his footing because he didn't expect it to cut back towards him.
Slip and slide.
Yeah, and it's like, man, here we go with this crap. To me, we saw the second half, man. We were really disciplined, and we kept everything in front of us. We didn't, we made sure that we had guys that were setting the edge, and we saw the results, man. They couldn't, at a certain point, they couldn't move the ball anymore. This team is more talented offensively. I don't think they have a Calvin Ridley. That's the one thing I will say is that Calvin Ridley is a better receiver than all 3 of San Fran's receivers combined. But
you think so?
Combined, all-around receiver, no doubt about it.
Who, Ridley, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
dude
yeah.
He's an absolute beast when it comes to
combined, though.
Ridley is definitely
better than Deebo and Ayuk combined.
Yeah. I mean, they're both look. Ayuk is a vertical. He's a vertical concept threat guy. You got Deebo Samuel, who's more of the crossers and the underneath and the yak stuff.
Yeah, but
Calvin really can do everything. Calvin really can do everything.
I just gotta say something about Deebo Samuel.
I'm not saying that Atlanta's offense is better than San Francisco's because
no. I know exactly what you're saying.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
But I mean, Calvin really is a stud compared to.
He killed us last year.
Yeah, Calvin really is a straight stud compared to those guys. Like Calvin really
is the type of guy that you have Calvin really down, and Deebo Sanders killed us last year. So we do got to understand that.
Yeah. So I look at it this way: is that we already had one unique challenge in Atlanta, right? Atlanta come out with a really unique challenge because they went with a lot of unique, like 22-man setups to where you had Kyle Pitts, who's really like a converted wide receiver into a tight end. They had their traditional tight end. I can't remember the white dude's name. I can't think of his name.
Hayden Hurst.
Yeah, Hayden Hurst. Yeah. And then they have Patterson, who's a converted wide receiver into a running back. I mean, they had a lot of unique things. You're going to deal with that same exact thing, except for these guys outside of Calvin Ridley are far more talented. I mean, I think that's your problem. Like, don't get me wrong, I think Pitts is going to be a player eventually in the league, but to me, guys, he didn't look like he was ready for the moment.
Exactly. 8 targets, 4 catches, 31 yards.
Yeah.
It's good.
It's
just good to know that the Eagles slow down a tight end, whether it was like Gates said, he has to get acclimated. Hey, I had Dave Spadero on the channel, and he said, I know this Eagles defense is good when we stop getting roasted by tight ends. That's what he straight said. But shout out to JB with the $4.99 super chat. He said 3 beast mode content creators. We do need that upgrade camera work, Gate. Go Birds.
It's the lighting. Ain't nothing wrong with this camera. It's the lighting, man. You can't come for my guy like that, man. You come for one, you come for all, man. You can't come for my guy like that. It's the lighting. There ain't nothing wrong with my man camera, man. All right. All right, so what was the question you asked, Mike? Oh, you asked about Kittle. You asked about Kittle, right?
Yeah, Kittle.
All right, I know what you said, Gates, earlier. And I'm gonna have to say it might gotta be Eric Wilson. He is our best covering linebacker. I don't want to use, you know how I said use man, I can't remember the kid, Maddox for Kyle Pitts last week, right? To me, this is a different kind of offense. So you want your safeties on alert for the end arounds, the screens, stuff like that. They're going to do more than that. So you need your safeties on alert, especially your strong safety. You need them more on alert. So I'm gonna say, can anybody explain to me why the 49ers people think coming in? I don't know why they did that. It didn't work out for Minnesota, so I don't know why they think it's going to work out for them. First of all, the crowd better be rocking. If anybody watched from here, and is going to the game, or you at the game, or you tailgate, y'all better be rocking in that joint. It's been a whole year, ain't have a full staff of fans. Now is the time, and y'all better, man. It better sound like the Minnesota game, man. Seriously, y'all definitely got to rock in that joint. Got to represent, but. I think Eric Wilson is the key to trying to slow down, because you're not going to stop Kittles. Let's keep it real, man. You're not going to stop him, but trying to slow him down. Now, he does have to tackle better, so the dude doesn't get more yet, because we know Kittles gets a lot of yet. So he definitely has to tackle better, but at the same time, he is our best covering corner. Once again, when you look at in the actives, Taylor is not on there. So who knows what they're going to do with him with that speed? That definitely can help stop the run. But I don't know if you want to put him on a guy like Kittles. You know what I mean? Bradley, maybe he can get the job done. I like that kid a lot. I thought he made more of an impact in playing less snaps than Eric Wilson did last week. So maybe you can put a guy like that on him. But to me, it probably got to be Eric Wilson just because of his cover skills. Go ahead, Charles.
Yeah, I think you mix and match it throughout the game. We saw how they did Kyle Pitts. You saw Vontae Maddox on him sometimes, some linebackers. You saw Anthony Harris take him a little bit as well. I think you just got to mix and match. Keep Kittle in front. You let him get some of the underneath stuff. Maybe not on third and second and shorts, because you want to get off the field and whatnot. But I think we're going to be able to guard tight ends a little bit better, just the way JG is going to call it. I'm not just saying from a matchup standpoint, like, hey, you go shut him down or you go shut him down. But I think scheming, playing zone, as much as we are, there's going to be a group of guys who are watching out for number, I don't know what number he is, but Kittle. So I think that is, and you got to treat Debo the same way, because like I said, Debo might not beat you at all the technicalities as a Calvin really can, but he's that guy who'll take that slant, break a couple tackles, and then that's what he's do. His name is Debo for a reason. He Yak, Mr. Yak. So, but listen, I have Jimmy G having a couple mistakes in this game. I have a couple turnovers from Jimmy G. You know how loud the link's going to be when we get our first turnover, since we didn't get a turnover in ATL? Or
No, we didn't.
No, we didn't.
We should have had one by Slay, but he decided to slap the ball down instead of catching. I don't know what was up with that.
Yeah. I mean, we had a couple close ones, like Steven Nelson fell down, or he would have probably had that interception inside the red zone. So we just got to get our hands on it. And I think Jimmy G, that's part of his problem. I mean, there was two things that you can knock on Jimmy G for not being that like legit guy is his health, because he's always getting hurt, and he does turn the ball over a little bit too much. So we definitely got to keep that in mind and attack the injuries that Niners have. But shout out to Solo Bolo with the $5 super chat. Excited about Davion Taylor today. Gate, do you think Davion Taylor will have a package, or he'll get on the
special
field?
Special teams, sure. Look, I don't know, man. They played 6 linebackers. Yes, they played 6 linebackers last week.
They did.
I mean, it's on. Yeah.
Rotating. Yeah.
No. I didn't know it was 6 though. Damn, I ain't know.
Patrick Johnson got in.
Yeah, I seen that.
All 6 guys.
And I think that was a lot because they set Eric Wilson there.
Hey, cruising. Gotta chill, bro. I don't know what Howie and his dude is looking for me.
I read that earlier. My man ain't telling on nobody, man. We want all the smoke. Ain't nobody to tell on.
But
won't need no witnesses.
Hey guys, so just real quick, what's happening? You all saw the video where I showed you guys the chicks. I got them in the studio. Yo, they smell and they make way too much noise. I can't film in there, guys. It'd be ridiculous. Like I'd have that Vicks vapor rub on my nose so I don't smell them, and then nah, man, they about to go out in like another week or two. They go outside.
Then he'll be back with the green screen and the, you know what I mean, the what's going on.
Yeah, it's hard to film like this. I'll admit, guys, it's not easy. And if I open up the back windows, it's too much light. So, yeah, it is what it is. Unfortunately, I got an overhead light, but I don't know. I might plug in a little floor lamp or something. But yeah, I mean, I'll be honest with you guys. Like, I'll look at it when you break down the matchups. I think it's going to be a fairly high scoring game. I do, and I like what you said, Mike, which is if you could get pressure on Jimmy Garoppolo, he will make mistakes with the football. Mm-hmm. There was like that real famous game back in 2019, the Super Bowl year with the 49ers, where they played the Seahawks, and the Seahawks really got to Jimmy Garoppolo, and he made a ton of mistakes in that game. But you got to get to him. That's the thing. And they're going to use a lot of pre-snap motion. They're going to do a lot of stuff post-snap to try to confuse the defense. Yeah. They're going to try to keep pressure off of them, and they're going to do it through trying to – honestly, they're going to do it through trying to confuse us. That's what they're looking for. Linebackers got to play in this game, man. I don't know who's going to get playing time and who's going to start. I mean, last week we started Avery, TJ Edwards, and Wilson. Singleton was the first up off the bench.
Avery was a disappointment, man. He did nothing. Yeah. He ain't do nothing. Like, I'm not saying it's going to be like that for the rest of the year, but I don't know if they're not using him right. To me, he's kind of like that rover type of linebacker that blitzes. Like, I don't see him doing anything else. Like, I don't know. Yeah. Maybe they use Taylor in his spot instead, because Taylor to me is better, and he can do more. But Avery did nothing for me, and I don't know about y'all. Harris did nothing for me neither last game. I don't know what he did. I didn't see. Well, y'all see where I was watching the game. TV was about as big as my computer, so I might have missed a whole lot. So I ain't going. I'm gonna take that back. I'm gonna take the easy one. I mean, I'm gonna take the Harris one back. So I'm gonna take that back.
Yeah. Do you think there could be some change-ups along the defensive line? Because I think this is a game where Brent, look, Derek Barnett's a good football player. He is, but I would probably play Sweat a little more this game, because Sweat poses more of an athletic matchup, especially because that right defensive end spot is going to be lined up against Trent Williams. I think Sweat can pose a lot of problems for Trent Williams. He doesn't do well with speed rushers. He just doesn't. And you get a guy like Sweat who's both speed and the power. There's not a lot of guys that are physically like that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he's a bit unique in what he can do. I would love to see some guys like Milton Williams and some other guys that provide you a little bit of that versatility, because I think you're going to have to push this pocket. You're going to have to push the pocket, and you're going to have to contain because they're going to want to move. They're not going to want Garoppolo just sitting back there because they already know what's going to happen if they're sitting back there.
But he's not really a mobile type quarterback like that. Like he can get out the pocket, but they're going to move the pocket. Mm-hmm. So that's what's going to happen. They're going to move the pocket. And I would like to see that for us also. I don't think I've seen that enough last game. Like you got to move the pocket for Jalen Hurts, but he wasn't really getting in trouble. The offensive line was holding it down. So I get why they didn't move it. But they're definitely going to try to move the pocket. They're going to do misdirections. They're going to do the screens, and we talked about the end arounds and all that kind of stuff. So you kind of know what you getting, but you don't know when it's coming. That's the thing. You know what I mean? So you gotta, if you are especially the linebackers are the key. The linebackers are the key. I know we getting off of here soon. So we're going to talk about our offensive and defensive players. I'm just going to give y'all mine right now. It's the whole linebacker core. The linebacker core are the key to this game, other than the Jordan Mailata Bosa situation. I told y'all about that. But on defense, it is dumb. They have to be on the swivel. They have to understand that the misdirections, the thinking that it's going one way, obviously, going one way and it's going another. The fake runs that's going to turn into like the play action. They have to make sure that they are disciplined. They have to be disciplined to contain this offense. And if you contain this offense and keep everything in front of you, we win handily. Because that's what they're going to try to do. If you take their best attribute, which is all the things that I just said, that's what they do the best.
Yeah.
Running the football, misdirections, end arounds, screens. You take all that away, it's over. It's a rapsy-scapsy. Go ahead, Charles.
Yeah, no, their safeties are really good. I mean, they got Ward and they got Tart. Those are both really good players. Their corners are a mess right now. I mean, their corners are an absolute mess. I heard that who are they bringing back? They were bringing back somebody from the Washington, Josh Norman. I think Josh Norman. Like, that's not a good matchup. That's not a good matchup for them.
He's not going. I don't think he's going to start. I don't think he's going to start. He don't even. They just brought him in like Wednesday or something. He don't know the scheme and none of that. So I don't even think he won't. He might play, but
they might not have a choice just because of how Verrett's down. Brett's down.
Everything is. Yeah.
I think Quan Williams is still playing. So they got their nickel. Mosley's down. They're left cornerback.
Yeah.
So I think they're going to be out there with like Aubrey Thomas, who was a draft pick, like a 5th round draft pick, and Norman. I honestly think that.
Got Kirkpatrick too. They got Kirkpatrick too. They signed. I don't know if he's ready to play.
Yeah,
that's
right, Mike. You're right. Dre Kirkpatrick. Yeah, I mean, look, Kirkpatrick played last year with Arizona. I mean, he's okay. I mean, he's not a world beater, but he's a tall corner. He can run a little. I don't know, man. I think it's a big disadvantage for them. I think they're in trouble on the outside.
So how y'all feel about we all know Mostra is out. How y'all feel about they rookie running back? Y'all think that do y'all think he's going to be able to do what he did last week? I don't see that happening. He kind of I ain't going to say shocked the NFL, but you know how it is when you prepare for somebody. That's another reason why I don't want Jimmy Garoppolo benched at the half or anything like that. You know how it is when you prepare for somebody.
It might, man. That's my bold prediction, man.
That's my fear, though. That's my fear.
The Eagles are going to jump all over San Fran, and then they're going to have to go at halftime. They're going to have to make that adjustment. They're going to have to go to the young kid,
and that's my fear because things like that get dicey. Things like that get dicey because you didn't prepare for this kid. Yeah. Now he can and then he's out there just playing freely. When you don't have no job, no contract, and they just throw you in there, you just can play freely. And it's scary. You know what I mean? Like,
they still got players.
Look at a guy like Heineke. Like, I'm not saying Heineke isn't good. He's definitely looked better than Daniel Jones. Mm-hmm. But he always been in a situation to where as though they're not dependent on him. They just throw him in there because of injuries. And either you sink or you swim. Now, he has been swimming. You know what I mean? In the
Mhm.
playoffs, even with a loss, he looked it good out there against Tampa Bay. So
Yeah.
these things, if you're not prepared, if you don't scheme for a guy, and maybe they are, maybe they know what you know, Gates. Like if we get on these guys, we know Trey Lance coming in, so we gotta, maybe that's happening, and we're going to see and maybe and here is the difference. They're treating Trey Lance like how we was treating Jalen Hurts last year. You know what I mean? So they're already probably scheming for him. They're already probably like, you know what? He's going to get at least 4 to 5 plays, especially in the first half. So we got to make sure that we're up on that. So that does help. But playing a whole game or a whole half is different, man. Go ahead, Joe.
Well, it's gonna see. That's the thing is like they have playmakers. Like
Yeah, he's
I'm
better
not
than
trying
Daniel
to.
Jones. I ain't kidding
Yeah,
you.
I
My
mean
boy
they
Gates,
got. No, I'm
he's
saying
better than
defensively they got Armstead, but he's not healthy. But I think he's gonna play. I think Kinlaw's that's a little bit more questionable. I'm not too sure he's playing. You know, Bosa's coming back from an ACL, but he can play. I think it's an ACL hurt him. Fred Warner's a good football player. There's no doubt about it. Jimmy Ward and Tart. Those two guys can play at safety. I mean, they got a few guys here and there, but if Armstead's not 100%, if Bosa's still kind of coming back and he's not completely 100% right now, it could be a struggle for them. They might try to control the game more. That's my biggest fears is that they might really try to control the game and drive the ball, long possessions, time of possession, that type of stuff. I think that's, probably the way I would look at it if I was them is that let's try to slow this down and not try to get into a shootout.
True. Well, let's get into. I know Fresh gave up his. He got Mulata and he got the linebacking core for offensive defense. So, Gate, give me your offense and defensive player that's going to rise up. I can say that now because we're not playing ATL. Rise up and come through to secure us a W. And then give your score prediction. And then Fresh give his score prediction, and I'll give both.
Yeah.
So I think the receivers are going to do very well, but I'm going to say that this is the game where Dallas Goedert could be a major problem for the 49ers. I also think this is the game where Kenneth Gainwell. That's a lot of speed. That's a lot of shiftiness. That's a guy that can get you in a matchup to where you don't have, unless you're going to devote someone like Fred Warner there, you're in trouble. I could see those two guys having pretty big games, and I don't think that, I think a guy like Gainwell is not going to get that many opportunities. I just think when he gets them, he's going to capitalize. Defensively, Josh Sweat and Javon Hargrave. Those are the two guys that I think I think they're playing at a different level right now. I think they're absolutely playing at a different level. I liked what Reese said basically about, look, this is the game for the linebackers, but the defensive line, if it starts taking this football game over, I think it's going to be because of Sweat and Hargrave are just becoming unblockable.
Yep. All right. So I'm going to go on the offensive side of the ball. I'm going to say Miles Sanders. And yes, I think Kenneth Gainwell game by game is going to be used more, but Miles Sanders is going to break one of them long boys, maybe a little Malcolm Jenkins stiff arm in the process, taking it to the house. Going to keep Bosa and them guys off our backs. And then on the defensive side, eeny, meeny, miny, mo, peck a cornerback by the toe. I'm going to go Slay, rocking number 2 with his first pick of the season. A nice interception by Big Play Slay, so I can stop calling him Slay Jr., start calling him Big Play Slay again. We need some big plays. Look, I agree with Fresh. The linebackers are going to be key in stopping the Niners from the 20 and 20, going from the 20 and 20. I think, as Gates said, if the pass rush is so deadly, it's going to make Jimmy G create a mistake. So, hey, Fresh's defensive key, got to keep him from going up and down 20 and 20. And as long as what Gates says comes true and the defensive line is in Jimmy G's face, he's vulnerable. He going to throw it right to number 2, Big Play Slay. And even more of a hot take, he's taking it back to the house. A pick 6 in the link. Oh my God, it's going to be a problem. Shout out to Solar Bolo with the $2 super chat. Eager to see the game coach calls. Yeah. Let's see how he adjusted from one team with a weak defense to a team that has a good front four. We'll see. My score prediction is 31-27. I don't know who else got to say their score prediction. I don't think Fresh said it.
I didn't say mine either.
All right, go ahead, y'all two.
Quick.
Look, I think this is going to be a dogfight. The 49ers are beat up. They're coming in this game limping, to be honest. I still think it's a very well-coached team. I still think that Shanahan is very innovative as a play caller. I'm going to say it's going to be, I'm never going to pick against the Eagles, guys. Newsflash. I'm going to say 24-21 Philly. I think this is going to be a dogfight. I really do.
I think it's going to be a dogfight for 3 quarters, and then we pull away. I got it 24-14. I ain't going to explain why, because I got something to say. Cruising 26. Let me tell you something. You lucky we about to get off here, because I will smoke you. You never heckle the comedian. He got the mic and you don't. Okay, that's number one. Number two, your team is trash. You're 0-5 for the last. You're 0-2 for the last 5 years. You're burned. All right, that's number two. Number three, it might have been you that DM'd me, sending me that damn video showing me that the guy wasn't offsides. And he timed it just right. No, his dumb behind lined up offsides. That's the difference. I'm talking about the field goal that came back. If nobody know what I'm talking about, he lined up offsides. See, that's how I know y'all Giants fans don't know football. Ain't no big boy table over there. What have y'all done for me lately? That's the question. We are the NFC East champs. We're the last ones to win a Super Bowl, and y'all need to pay homage. Kiss my feet. Go ahead, y'all.
I love it. I love it. I love it. And so that is it for the second episode of of Battle Birds podcast pregame. Hey, hopefully we are celebrating another win, and this is going to open up the eyes of the national media if we do this. Our eyes have been wide open. We stay woke over here in Philly for many things, not just sports. But a quick, Solo Bolo trying to keep us on as long as possible. No, I'm just kidding. Shout out to my guy Solo Bolo with the $5 super chat. Appreciate y'all, BBP. I'm out. See y'all after the game. Score a lot to a little. Hey, that's the best way to say it. Defense wins
like
this game. Fly, Eagles, fly. And with that being said, we are out. Until next time, y'all know what time it is. Peace.
Yoda.